Hi, this is Mariette Abrahams, CEO and founder of Qina, a hub for data and insights in personalized nutrition. And today I'd like to discuss four big changes that we'll be seeing in the industry this year that will really impact how personalized nutrition startups operate and how they share data, and maybe also determines how they also partner with other industry players. So what I'd like to go through is just share my screen, as you can see, and really go through some of these four major changes that we'll see this year. So the first one that we'll see is around the increased regulation and the integration of artificial intelligence. Now, we've seen this growth of AI at breakneck speed, and so what we will see is just apart from AI just being integrated in terms of providing recommendations to individuals on what to do next in terms of their diet and nutrition. There's now new regulation that will come out in the EU towards the summer, which is called the AI Act, which will really clamp down on organizations, companies that are using AI, such as facial recognition, scoring individuals or citizens in terms of how they behave, for example, like in China. But it will also impact education facilities, for example. So when you are applying for university, or if you are applying for a loan or insurance, all these kind of systems that use some kind of a ranking or a scoring system to be able to provide an output. Because of course the biggest scare or concern is around these existing biases that will be perpetuated, and of course that can actually lead to increased inequality throughout society. And so really, we will see an increased regulation in terms of AI. Companies should really make sure that they are up to speed on this new AI Act that will be coming out, which will be built up upon from the AI ethics guidelines that came out in 2019. And so you can read more about that on our website. But this is really one of the major things that will happen and impact startups this year, because it'll impact how you use AI and how you've integrated AI into solutions, and how you then come up with recommendations, as many of them are still really operating within a black box. And of course, this needs to be nipped in the bud right now before it causes any big problems. So we're really happy that the EU is really taking the lead on this for the world, and hopefully this will already start making sure that AI is implemented correctly, fairly, and therefore doesn't cause any unnecessary harm to individuals. The second change that we'll see is these reduced investor funding. We've of course seen a massive drop in funding, especially in personalized nutrition startups. And so it has gone to food tech, fintech, medtech, and now we are really seeing a tightening up of the purse strings in terms of nutrition, and we will continue to see that throughout 2023. So it's really a very important time for the industry, and that companies really need to show that out of all the past massive amounts of funding that they received, that they can actually grow organically and maintain their customer base, and therefore grow the industry at the same time, rather than being cushioned by investment in a big way. And so this is going to be a key turning point this year for the industry. I think we'll see a lot of companies closing. I think we'll see a lot of companies trying and reduce their spending, and therefore hold on and engage more with the current customer base, and therefore also improving and really fine-tuning their solutions. The next one is around generative AI. So if you haven't tried ChatGPT, you are super behind. You need to give it a try. It's absolutely, I think, mind-blowing. I think also it as an eye-opener and a wake-up call for people who really think that AI is really down the line, who don't think that AI will have an impact on their job. Because if you think like that, you will definitely be in for a big surprise. It is absolutely amazing how it can quickly come up with an answer that is not I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate, but it's pretty much there. I've asked it a number of questions. I've asked it for the definition of personalized nutrition. I've asked it for the benefits of personalized nutrition, and it's really not that far off. I mean, in terms of, citing papers, critically analyzing the science and the technologies is not there. But I think for most people who just want to learn about personalized nutrition technologies, it can definitely give you some basic answers for you to get your toes wet and get to grips with the industry. So I think generative AI should really be a wake-up call for the industry, because we would need to make sure that the advice and recommendations that are coming out of this ChatGPT, for example, are actually accurate and that they don't worsen inequality, because of course, especially when we look at science, especially in personalized nutrition technology, there is a risk that a lot of the data that is used is using databases or data from North European, North American population bases, and so therefore the answers shouldn't be only relevant to people of these origins. We need to make sure that the answers are actually accurate, that the topics are, or the answers that are given based on specific topics are actually based on the good science. And so we really need to be kind of very, very wary. We need to be really, really alert in terms of what it's doing, what it's saying, and how it's evolving. But I think generative AI will be a huge factor in terms of the industry, because of course nutrition is a hot topic. A lot of people have lots of questions about their health, about nutrition, what to eat, and if generative AI, if we're looking at content creation, for example, there's so many articles out there, but what it can't do, I also found, is that it's, like I said, it's not very good at quoting references, for example, and so it's also not very good at being able to extrapolate information or really connect disparate topics to each other, because of course, especially when it comes to personalized nutrition, it's really at the intersection of so many different topics and fields, and it's multidisciplinary. And so when you sometimes get the answer, you think, well, you missed out a complete different section, or you missed out a complete discipline. And so that's where the experts really come in. That's where people like Qina can really come in and say, no, this is really not accurate, or it's 70% there, but the rest of the 30%, you really need to think about this, that, and the other in order to get a deep and comprehensive and actionable insights if you were going to use your ChatGPT, for example, to develop a marketing plan or a business plan, or get deep insights about the industry as well. So I think it's a really, really important area. I think it's really going to change how we interact with consumers in terms of providing that single answer that you want. But of course, it needs to come with alert signals and red lights flashing, because we can run into seriously dangerous ground. The final one is around privacy. So in the EU, we already had regulations since 2018 on the General Data Protection Regulation, which is really about privacy, how you collect data, how you store data, how you share data, and of course, how you there's the ability for consumers to also be able to withdraw their data if they don't want it to be used by the company any longer. And so this has now really been at the forefront of many other countries basing their own regulation in terms of privacy on the GDPR regulation. But this is now going further. It's now really, really spreading into the US. And this year it'll actually become into law in the US in different states. It started out with California and now it's spreading wider. And so companies who are playing in this field should really be aware of what is happening, how they use consumers' data, how they store it, how they share it, and how they communicate with users in case they want to withdraw their data. So lots of things happening this year to look out for. Look out for the full post on our blog on Qina.tech. If you want more information and insights on personalized nutrition, then make sure to sign up for a free account. Bye-bye.